am excited to be here on the second live of our 2-week challenge. So welcome to today's session. If you haven't managed to watch the first session yet, then don't panic. They're in a good order of getting set up for business, and this session's all about finding clients and the next session's all about being compliant. But it really doesn't matter which order you watch the sessions in. So if you've started here today and this is your first session, then don't forget to go back and watch the previous live that I did on Tuesday. And I will also be online with you again next Tuesday. So today we are looking at mastering your niche and effective communication. So in layman's terms, what we're talking about is how to find clients and how to connect with them with ease. And I know a number of people have challenges around this. And so this is why I run these sessions quite regularly, because I know by following these simple and effective strategies to success, you will be able to find your clients with absolute ease. So welcome here today. I see I've got a couple of viewers, which is fantastic. If you want to post any questions or comments while I go through the live, I'll be keeping an eye. I've got a couple of screens going, so please ask any questions as we go through. And if you're watching the recording afterwards, please keep putting comments into this feed, because they will stay current and they will stay there for the foreseeable future. So I'll be able to respond within those comments if you have any questions in relation to this topic today. So welcome, let's get started. We've got a lot of information to get through. So today you are going to learn how to effectively communicate and market yourself to your niche audience. If you're not too sure what niche is all about, don't worry, I'll be explaining as we go through. I'll help you to win over potential clients and get yourself and your business propelled to the next level in relation to those goals. We spoke. Oh, I'm not sure if I am still with you guys. Let me just hotspot just in case we've got problems. It says I am still live at the moment. Can anyone, if you can hear me, can you just drop me a message to say whether or not you can hear me? I've set up with I'm not too sure. I've just lost internet, guys. I've hopefully just hotspotted, and I hope you will be able to hear me. If anybody could just send me a message to let me know that they can hear me, that would be amazing. Ah, awesome. Glitching a little. Thank you, guys. So I've got my hotspot set up as well. So if my internet does go down again, thank you everyone for letting me know you can hear me. There was a big sign up on my screen that said my internet had gone down. So apologies for that. Let's get going again. So today we're going to learn all about how to connect with your niche client, your audience, how to find clients with ease, and really I'll explain to you what niche is all about, because once you've nailed niche in your business, you will be set up for fantastic success. So I'll also help you to understand the needs of your niche audience. So you're going to be able to speak to your audience in a way that resonates with them by the end of today. And I will also teach you how to build trust and rapport with clients, and how to harness the skill of pricing, ensuring that you are working with the power of scarcity for optimum success. So that's a really cool thing. There's a lot of people, it's a very noisy NDIS space at the moment. So by going through these techniques, these are proven techniques that I had in my business, you will be able to walk away with business growth and business success with ease. I did put in the notes that we're going to be looking at policies and procedures today. My apologies. I'm going to be looking at that next Tuesday. So don't worry, we are going to get that covered off. But let's get going in relation to you determining your niche in business. So what is niche, and why is niche identification important? So By setting your niche, you are going to be tailoring your market efforts. At the moment, you might be seeing out there, you might be doing it currently. I know I used to do it. I used to say, I am another disability provider. I provide disability supports. We are there for everyone. We support everyone. We understand everyone's needs, and we're person-centered to everybody. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't work. There are a number of people in your space at this moment in time trying to get the same clients you are getting. If you hone in on your niche and you speak to clients directly using language that works for them, you will nail that sale every single time, because that person will feel like you're talking to them directly. You're not just another disability service provider. They're going to feel like, even if they've not spoken to you, even if they might see something on social media, they might see a pamphlet that they pick up when they're out and about in their local community. They're going to read that or look at that and go, this person knows me, this person knows my problems. How do I connect with them? How do I get started? It's going to be what will differentiate you from your competitors. You will have a better understanding of the needs of your clients. So not only will you be able to more effectively market yourself and sell your services to them, but you are going to be providing a better customer service. And I'll go into what I mean by that in a little bit more detail as we go through. You're also going to get higher profit margins. So you might be scratching your head going, Helen, I don't know what you're talking about here. If you are focusing on one particular topic and putting all your effort into that one particular topic, you're not going out there spending money and resource on 50 million different training opportunities. You're just going to be the best at the skill set you have. So if you're still a little bit unsure about what niche and what I'm talking about, I will get that down into a lot more detail for you. So you need to be, I've just got some notes here. I think I've lost a little bit of it. You need to be determining exactly who you are speaking to. So you want to think about who it is you like working with. If you've been in the industry, if you've been in the sector for a little bit of time, you might already have your ideal client. You might have a couple of people on board that you've worked with, and you have provided amazing outcomes for those individuals. You want to be thinking about how you have tailored, what particular skill set it is you've worked with. You might find you love working with children. You might love working with young people. You might love working with those people in that 18 to 24-year-old age bracket who are leaving home and moving out and gaining more skills and independence out in the community. You might have total knowledge and clarity about certain topics like dementia, early onset dementia, or you might be really skilled, maybe have a bit more kind of clinical or nursing background and experience in people with more complex needs. You might love working with people with challenging behaviors. So I really want you to think about your ideal client and write down who that ideal client is. So what is their age? What is kind of the demographics about them? What types of needs do they have? What type of things do they love doing? What type of things do you love doing with them? What type of skills do you have? Last time I did the challenge, there was a lady who was really passionate about working with children who are on the spectrum. So who is it you like working with? Who do you have the skill set and the ability to work with? And think about what it is so once you've written down the type of person, the type of disability they have, the skills that you have in relation to that disability. So it could be you have lived experience. You might have a family member who you have cared for with that disability. You might have cared for people or supported people with that disability through your entire career. And you need to then also think about what activity or what skill, what thing you offer to that individual that will help them propel to the next level. So we're talking goals here. We're talking NDIS goals. So it could be around independent living skills. It could be around learning how to communicate more effectively. It could be around reducing behaviors that can be of challenge to individuals. It could be around you might have a passion for gardening, or you might have a passion for cooking. So you might really love helping people to prepare healthy meals. You could be a personal trainer who loves getting those fitness and health outcomes for people that you're supporting. Everybody's different. If anybody wants to share any particular skill sets they have, anybody here who's here at the live at the moment, if anyone wants to share in the comments what skills they have, what the type of person they love working with, I'd really love for you to put those comments in the comments box, because by thinking about the type of people we work with, the type of outcomes, our skill set. I used to work with children who were on the spectrum, and I absolutely loved it. When I first started my support worker journey, I just worked with neurodiverse children, and I was really good at it, and I got amazing outcomes by working with those individuals. So if you can hone in on that skill set and think a little bit more about that and share that in the comments, that would be absolutely fantastic. If you're new to your independent support worker journey and you're not too sure, so we've got Jody, sign language, verbal and non-verbal clients. Perfect, Jody. So thinking about sign language is absolutely perfect. So so are you talking about, Jody, are you talking about individuals who are maybe on the spectrum, or people or individuals who are who have hearing impairments? Let me know in the comments. So think about those ideal clients, right? That's your first step, and you then need to start thinking about oh great, we've got Tracy, skill set is cooking, an ex-chef. Perfect. That's a really great one, Tracy. There's lots of things you can do in relation to that, and I'm happy to provide a little bit of advice and guidance around that cooking passion of yours, because I know that that's a much needed skill, and that is a perfect example of your niche. If that's what you want to do, Tracy, a perfect example of your skill set around cooking. I'm an ex-chef, and this is how I can help you in your life. So the next step is to think about your personal brand, or your personal statement, or your personal bio on social media. So for me, mine is I help independent support workers set up and succeed in business. It's really clear what I do, and it's really clear who my target audience is. Okay, so you need to start thinking about what your brand statement. You may have noticed on social media that people do put in their little bio, they put what it is they do. So Tracy, you could be thinking something around, something around that chef, or you want to almost put a little bit of a play on words. I'm not very good at thinking on my feet, but some type of a play on words around how you just take the hassle out of cooking and clearing up. How would you like, a five-star chef in your home 7 days a week, that type of thing. But you want your brand statement, or you want that statement to be really short and really clear. So for example, if you love working and supporting people who maybe have challenges around living in a home of clutter, and you might say transforming clutter to calm across the Gold Coast region, or something like that. So people know, that's what this person's all about. So Jody, you've got taught full-time in special education for 30 years. Oh, awesome. So you've got a lot of skills there. So you really need to, really need to hone down on those skills and put into play exactly who it is you want to be working with. So another example is if you were really interested in maybe early onset dementia, you might call yourself the dementia whisperer. You might be talking about providing supports to individuals on the spectrum, so something like tailored support for every spectrum. So by putting a little bit of a bio or a brand statement alongside your social media, that will help people understand what you're about and what your skill sets are. This advice is the same whether you're an independent support worker or whether you're setting yourself up as a micro business. When I had my home care business, ours was continue to enjoy the comforts of home. And we very much got people on board who were in that demographic of really, they were happiest in their home environment. They just wanted that support that they needed to maintain their independence at home. So start having a little bit of a think about what your brand statement might be and what your bio. So a brand statement is really just a few words, as short amount of information as possible, just so that people can see in a second what it is you're doing or what your specialist skill is. And then you can expand on that with a little bit of a bio. That helps people to really, okay, that little brand statement got my attention, like the dementia whisperer as an example, and your bio would then be an extension of that. So a skilled expert in the dementia sector supporting excellent outcomes on the Gold Coast, or so that really then kind of goes in a little bit more detail about what it is you're doing, so people can pick up and see, I know what this person is all about. Because by you determining yourself as the expert in relation to individuals, you will start harnessing the way you're communicating to the people you're supporting out in the community. So your next step around your client avatar, if you're still scratching your head a little bit, then what I will do just after this session is I'm going to copy and paste some information into the Facebook group. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar or used much of AI and ChatGPT, but ChatGPT can be really effective in helping you get a little bit of an overview of your client avatar, of your ideal audience. So I'm going to copy and paste. So it's what you do is you copy and paste this information in, and the statement is, what details can you provide to help an avatar that reflects the individual's experience? And then you then put in your target audience. So for example, young early onset dementia, and then the statement then goes on to outline their core pain points, additional pain points, emotional pain, root cause. So by putting that information into ChatGPT, you will start to paint a picture of your ideal audience and their problems, because that's going to be the next part of this. So step one is you've decided who your ideal client is. Step two, you've thought about a tagline or a little bit of information that lets your audience know what your skill sets are. And then the third is to actually start learning more about your ideal client. Now, that's one way of doing it, is to actually use AI, and it can be quite effective at doing it. Another way to find out more about the pain points and the needs of the individuals you're supporting is to actually speak directly to them. So by hanging out on Facebook groups, if you have clients already that have these needs or have these challenges, have these disabilities that you're ideally looking to target to support others who are like the clients you've already got on board, then ask them the questions. Quite often people will already tell you, they'll tell you their problems, they'll tell you their woes. When I set up my home care business, all of my work originally was subcontracted from larger companies, and I went out to those individuals. If I didn't have any staff available, I was the person that provided the care, and they told me what they were not happy about. They told me their problems. They said, I'm fed up that staff never turn up when they say they're going to turn up. I'm fed up about this, I'm fed up about that, and I'm fed up about the other. And I turned my communication, when I was able to directly engage clients myself, by saying, We turn up when we're going to say we turn up when we say we're going to turn up. You know the client the member of staff that's coming to your door, and we keep you use your preferred staff, because those were the 3 pain points people were telling me were their challenges with previous companies. So I used those pain points to actually market myself. I switched them around and said, these are the things that I do within my business, and it worked really, really well in relation to me finding and engaging individuals, and also keeping them happy as well. So in relation to that idea that I've set out for you, and putting that information into ChatGPT, or asking the individuals the questions around what are your pain points, I'll go through. I did this exercise myself, so I put into ChatGPT my target audience being young people who are moving out of home, so that kind of 18 to 25-year-old age bracket. And this is and I'll read you through what it came out with. So it told me the core pain point was struggling to transition from adolescence to independent adulthood. Well, that's quite obvious, that's cool. And it's saying additional pain points, so lack of life skills, vocational direction, educational support, and stable housing. So those are some pain points. They're useful for me to know. It's got the emotional pain, so feeling overwhelmed, feeling anxious, feeling uncertain about the future. So do you see how these points, by gaining this information about what the pain points are and what the emotional pain, so that feeling of overwhelm, feeling anxious, I'm now able to think about the types of messages that I'm going to be giving directly to the clients that are potentially going to be my audience. So I'm going to be putting messages out there saying, are you feeling, are you a young person looking to move out of home? Are you feeling anxious and overwhelmed and uncertain about the future? Are you feeling a lack of life skills? Are you feeling uncertain about the direction your life's going to take? All of these words, all of these pain points that I've got from using AI will help me to target. Because if I'm saying to that person, do you have this problem? They're going to instantly look up and go, oh yes, I've got this problem. This person, as I said to you earlier, this person is talking to me, and they're telling me, they're asking me if I have this problem. And yes, I have this problem. So I need to keep watching. I need to keep listening. I need to find out more about how they are going to solve my problem. Because that's what happens in sales. That's what a sales process is. A sales process is a need or a desire, and somebody offering you a solution. So the individuals you're supporting have a need or a desire, and you are saying, I am the solution to that problem. So do you see how it kind of is all starting to tie up a little bit? So you've grabbed their attention by telling them about their pain point, lack of direction in life, feeling like you don't have life skills, feeling overwhelmed. And you then start painting your picture as their guide, and you could say things like, wouldn't it be great to have your own personal life coach to guide you through all the challenges of transitioning to adult life? So you start to paint the picture of what the solution might look like. So you say, you start using words about, personal life coach, or words that will really resonate with the individual around, oh God, wouldn't it be nice to have somebody that knew what I'd been through and has solved this problem for other people. So you can talk to them about the amazing benefits of working with you. Wouldn't it be great to live independently, to be self-sufficient, to have life skills, to increase your confidence, to improve your relationships, to be a valued part of the local community? So start talking to them about accomplishments, sense of pride, peace of mind. Start painting the picture of what life will look like when they have your services in place. Because you start with the problem, you then come in and say, I am your guide, I am your mentor, or this business has the answers, we are skilled in this subject area, and and then you start painting a picture of what life will look like for that individual. So how do you paint a picture? So you can paint a picture if you've got some testimonials from other people. That would be fantastic. So you can say, feedback from an individual is, best support worker I've ever had, or knows so much about, has so many skills in supporting independence in life. So you want to start, if you've got those testimonials from other people, you want to be sharing those testimonials. If you have the permission of other people, you can start on social media painting the picture of what success might look like. So, for example, if you are supporting somebody else if you're supporting somebody who's currently on your books to go and learn skills of independence around catching a bus, you can actually take pictures, you can talk about the outcomes that are achieved, you can talk about the goals that you've achieved with those individuals. And you can really go to town if you want to on this and start doing little videos and, oh, it was a great day today. You can do it anonymously as well. You can finish the service with somebody who maybe does, if they don't want to be involved in this conversation, and say, oh, I'm just so excited. I just had an amazing visit today with an individual. I've been working with this individual now for the last 6 months around teaching them the skills to access a bus and get from their home to wherever. And today they nailed it, and we broke it down into so many steps, and at times we had challenges, but so promote the great outcomes you have achieved. I mean, Jodie, you're talking about food. Like, I can just picture food. If you're talking about your cooking skills, you want to be posting pictures of the amazing meals you've provided to individuals. And, people with smiling faces having eaten their meals and kind of cleared up the plates afterwards. So you want to be painting the picture of success. And it might be, Jodie, you're talking about working with verbal and non-verbal clients. So you might be like taking pictures of maybe some resources you've used for that individual, kind of picture boards of happy face, sad faces, what choices they want to make, and take pictures. Or tonight I'm making resources up because I'm going to support individuals tomorrow in their communication skills. So paint those pictures, let people know what you're doing, and let people know that you are the expert in that topic. Because the more you paint the picture of being the expert in that topic, the more you will engage with individuals. So if you don't already do it, I would definitely recommend you can either utilize your personal Facebook page. If you'd rather keep that private and separate, set yourself up with another alias and set yourself up with your own business page. So you can actually, on Facebook, you can set yourself up with a business page, even if that's just you independently. And you want to be utilizing that and getting family and friends to connect with that page. Family and friends love to support us on our journeys of success. So get families and friends. Ideally, it'd be great if family's local. I know not always family are local, but if you can utilize those local friends, ask them to like and share your Facebook group or your Instagram page or whatever it might be, and start painting these pictures, start putting this information and this advice out there. Because you've got your name, you've got your face, you might have a business name, you've got your tagline, you're clear on what it is you're doing. Now you need to be letting the world know about you. So you need to be out and about on social media. You want to be keeping an eye. You want to be trawling around the local Facebook groups. There will be local Facebook groups that, mums with children with disabilities, those types of groups as well. There's often community boards where you can let people know about the services that you offer. People ask me about the networking and engaging with people, and I try contacting causes and they never get back to me. I recommend you don't start going down the NDIS networking route at the beginning. I recommend if you want to do networking and get out there and promote yourself, you want to go out to local general business networking, because that's your way. You'll quite often find in those groups that there might be different businesses, but they'll say, oh, oh, can you come and have a chat because there's this situation with my mum, or there's this situation with my brother, or there's this situation with my child. So it's not a big NDIS noisy space of people competing for the same clients. By getting your name out there with people who you're not competing with, businesses you're not competing with, you can refer people that they might be that might support their business, and they'll support and they'll reciprocate and direct people to you in relation to your offering and what it is you're doing. I would definitely recommend trying to build up some type of collateral, some type of information about you. Obviously, well, not obviously, but a lot of people start with business cards, flyers, leaflets. It could be like a little resume, a little overview of you and the services that you provide. And you really want to be adding value to individuals. So by that I mean, if you are scouting about on local Facebook groups and people are asking, on the carers groups as an example, and people are saying, oh my goodness, I'm having such a challenge with my child in relation to this. If you offer advice and support on those groups to the individual, you're not promoting your service, you're not selling your services, you are becoming that expert and that person of knowledge in relation to that particular type of disability. People will start noticing you. They will start thinking, oh, who is this person? What I need to learn more about this person. The next stage side of things, so if you're networking locally, you might have some flyers or some basic information about you. You might also have you can do that you can make a little Facebook page for yourself with all the information about you and the types of services you provide. That's completely free, and you can share that with people so people can see it as well. And that's the place where you put that picture of success, or the pictures of you putting together whatever resources it might be. Because like Robin has put a thing about the number of people on Facebook. I mean, I scroll through, it's like, another person on Facebook going, yeah, we provide disability services, we're person-centered and unique. You become that local knowledge and resource, and you want it to be a win-win relationship. So you want to give away actually a lot of information for free to start with. So it might be that you kind of say, hey, who wants my little resort? Like, don't spend a lot of money. You don't need to spend a lot of money on it. But who was it? Was it Jody? I think it was Jody. So if you, for example, put together a little PDF of top tips for supporting individuals to communicate more effectively, something like that. That's probably not a very good example, but if something you have knowledge and skill about, if you give away a little bit of a free resource to people, how to reduce the chances of a tantrum with your young child who's non-verbal. Those types of things. If you say, keep calm, get down to their level, all of those types of things. If you have those little bits of resource and those little freebies, you can send those freebies to people, and you can put a little bit of Jodie's Care Business. If you want some help or support, please contact me on this number. So they're actually called lead magnets. If you give away that information to people, a little ebook, and they're really easy to put together. You can use ChatGPT to put together little things like this with ease, and things like Canva. You can get free accounts and put together some really, really good resources. By engaging and giving information to people on your specialist subject, you become that person of influence. You become that person that people will refer in relation to the outcomes, and you will stand out from the crowd. Now, some people say, Helen, I'm feeling a bit nervous about this because I feel like I'm not going to pick. There's clients out there that might engage with me that I'm going to lose because I'm focusing on this one specialist subject, and this client doesn't come under that banner. Don't worry, don't panic. If somebody, let's say you're focusing on neurodiverse children, and suddenly you have a 40-year-old gentleman who is has an intellectual disability, and he says, "Oh, can you provide supports to me?" Absolutely, go and provide support. But what we're talking about here is your marketing effort, and your and by really focusing on that individual, you'll absolutely nail marketing, and nail being able to onboard people with ease. You can always diversify. You can always take more people on than your niche if that's what you choose to do, or you can just choose to focus on your niche. Because as I said earlier, your profit margins then become a bit better, because you then just go, okay, I'm going to learn everything I can possibly learn about this one specialist topic of mine, and I'm going to be the font of all knowledge in relation to it. So it's a really, really effective way for you to have ease within your business, to grow your business and be the best you can possibly be. Has anybody got any questions so far? Have people got ideas? Has anybody got any questions, or are there any particular types of individuals they'd really like to support, but they're not too sure what their tagline might be, what their what success might look like, what platforms they might be able to go on? Please put any questions in there. What are your thoughts on setting up a little stall in a shopping centre? Robin, that used to nail me lots of clients. Setting up a little table. You need to be careful. Some places, I'm not sure what region you're in. I'm on the New South, I'm in Queensland, but I'm on the New South Wales border. I used to do a lot of shopping centres and go and put a little table up. Some were completely free. Some cost me money. Do you know what is a really cool thing to do? I used to put up a little kind of NDIS sign. Probably we might get in a little bit of trouble for saying that, because I know that you've got to, the NDIS and the provider. So don't quote me on that one. But I put up little signs, because people were intrigued. You've got to let people know what you're there for. But if you put up something that will grab people's attention, so some type of you can get them in thingy shop, like they're like plastic stand type things. You can put like A4 bits of paper in, or whatever. Office Works, you can get those kind of stands that go up, and you can put something in there that might grab people's attention. I used to print out a little bit of paper, and I used to say, do you want to be in with a chance to win? Now you could get a lolly. You know how they do those, how many lollies are inside the jar type thing. Or I used to make up little packs that had like kind of some lollies in and some tea bags and those types, because I was generally focusing on older people. If you put together a little package and say, do you want to be in with a chance to win this package? Most people will say yes. And then you just get a little bit of information. And your questions were around, are you looking for aged care services or disability services? And I'll come on to aged care in a minute for anybody who does want to get into the aged care side of things. And if the answer is no, do you know a family member or a friend who might be looking, who's in those demographics? And then you'd say, would you like to leave your contact details? Because obviously I need your contact details if you're the person that's going to win my little prize. So it's a really great way to collect information about people. Now, some of those people will come along and I've got no interest in your services. They'll never have any interest in your services, but they still want to be in a chance to win. And that's absolutely fine. Like, absolutely fill in that little bit of information, but they're not going to give you any ideas or support. Other people will actually come up and engage with you and chat to you and, tell me more about your business and tell me about this and tell me about that. I used to then, once they walked away, if I thought, I've got to follow up with this person because they either know somebody or they might need support themselves, I used to jot a little note on the back of that bit of information, on the back of the bit that they'd written their information on. I would then pull the name out of the hat for the person that had won the gift, and sometimes I'd also buy another little gift or another couple of little gifts for people who I saw as really hot prospects and potential clients. And I would then contact them and go, oh, guess what? You won. How, and then you'd be able to engage in a conversation with them again, and the amount of people I brought on board from doing that process was really good. So Robin, that is an absolutely fantastic idea. Local shopping centres. You've got to be a little bit careful, yeah, I mean, I've been a little bit naughty in the past. I have gone around. I have handed out leaflets to people in public places. You can get in a little bit of trouble for that, but people just ask you to move on, and that's fine. I'm not advocating that's something that you should do. Like I say, sometimes people ask me to move on, and I did move on. But I had quite a bit of success around that side of things as well. You just got to be, you've got to be a bit cheeky and see what you can get away with. But network locally, network with your local mobility shops, try and connect with occupational therapists, with physiotherapists, with speech and language therapy, anybody who's in the industry you're working in but not in direct competition with you. Definitely just try and connect with them and let them know about the services. If you really want to, please pick my brain about the ways in which you can do it, but avoid in the short term until you've really got traction, and avoid trying to go to those big, expensive networking-y type things. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm suggesting you use these strategies to start growing your business. I spoke to somebody a few weeks ago, and they were asking me the question about connecting with causes. And I said, look, if you've got some type of a lead magnet, I talked about those little PDFs or something. So you give them something that they might utilize or hand out to the people they're supporting, a resource that might sit there for a while, and they then might come back to you a little bit later. So I was talking to somebody who actually was a nurse, and they'd given some information away to that individual for free. It was like a little lead magnet. And then a few weeks later, that person got in touch with them and said, oh, look, I've got this person that needs this nursing care. Can you help? Absolutely. I'll come out. I'll do that. Once you've got in with that cause, it's easier to then grow more. They get to know you more. But don't waste your time just kind of sending emails, trying to cold call and not getting a response from it. It really isn't effective, and it becomes, it's not a great way to do it. So definitely take through these approaches, and you will absolutely nail kind of speaking to people locally, getting connected with people. And then really it's about that opportunity for people to come to you. They're now ready to start coming to you. So the next step is you want to be really clear on how simple and how easy it is to engage your services. So you don't have to have a fancy website. If you do have a fancy website, I'd recommend you put in a contact us, or some type of way to refer, or something like that. But you don't need a fancy website. My suggestion is to kind of set yourself up with a little bit of a Facebook page, your own page, which is your disability company, whether you're a sole trader or not, doesn't matter, your disability company. And you can actually utilize that. So you can ask people to say, look, if you want to work with me, it's really simple. Send me a message. People like to communicate in very different ways. Some people like a phone call. Some people like to send a message. Some people like to email you. So you want to be making sure that you are appealing to everybody's needs. For example, I'm the type of person, I'm quite busy. I quite often sit down on a Sunday evening and start thinking about all the jobs I want to get done. I might be trying to find a babysitter for the kids. I might be trying to book in for a hairdresser, whatever it is on my to-do list for that week, and your audience will be exactly the same. I want to get that off my plate, like off my to-do list. So I like sites that I can just send a message to and say, please contact me, I'm looking for this service. So you want to make sure that audiences like me, as an example, can contact you out of hours. That doesn't mean you suddenly need to start jumping on the phone to them at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night. But by having that option available, that they can engage with you out of hours in a way that is suitable to them, will totally help that sales funnel process of people coming through to you. So I said, ideally, if you make it that they can contact you through Facebook, they can email you, they can phone you. You might choose to put WhatsApp phone numbers on. There's lots of different ways in which you can automate the way in which people communicate with you. The more ways people can engage with you, the better. And then you want to be showing them what that sign up process might look like. Now, I know that sounds a little bit strange, but it's really effective because some people might be a little bit apprehensive about what it will look like to start working with you. They might have worked with big companies in the past, think, no, I want to work with an independent support worker, but I don't know how that's going to look. I know somebody on the Gold Coast who's actually got a cattery, and one of the promotional videos she provides is actually somebody being videoed walking in with their cat, and the person at the other side of the counter is like, oh, okay. Like those types of videos, like, oh, that's what it looks like when I drop my cat. I've got so when I was considering doing Pilates, reformer Pilates. I know it's a very different subject, but I had no idea what my first Pilates class would look like, and I was a bit apprehensive about doing it. And I found a website, I found a local place, and it showed me what a Pilates class looked like. Oh, you come in, you take your socks off, you sit on the bench, you do this, and I was like, oh, now I feel confident to take that step because I know what my role is in relation to going to that Pilates class. So I know that sounds like a bit of an odd concept. I'm talking about a very different subject, but if you show people what it's like to engage with you, that's really fantastic. And you also paint that picture about, like, I'll come out to your home, I'll have a chat with you, I'll talk you through all the options, whatever it might be, so people can see about what's going to happen when they engage with you. Now, the other thing as well is I know some people are interested in getting into the aged care market. You may have seen recently, I've been talking about something called CHSP. CHSP is only applicable if you are a registered provider. So if you are a registered provider and you want to learn about CHSP, please reach out. There's only about 20 days left until that application has to go in. Just double checking the date. But for most people, I'm guessing in this audience, that probably won't be of use. But if you do want to get into the aged care market, there's one thing you need to do is if you Google self-managed home care packages, you will find providers that you can work with. I'm just going to take a quick mouthful of water. So there's a few different companies. Mabel is one of them. Let's Get Care is another. There's one called Homemade. I think there's one called Trilogy. I don't know anything about any of these providers, but you can be engaged by somebody over the age of 65 who is getting a home care package through what they call the self-managed home care packages. So you just need to find a provider that manages that. And if anybody wants to ask me any questions around getting into the aged care side of things, please ask away in the group. I'm not sure if that's of interest to anybody or not. So hopefully by now you have identified your ideal client, you have engaged with your ideal client, and you have shown them what onboarding might look like with you. And by this stage, hopefully you are sitting down in their home or the environment in which you're meeting with them to talk them through about you and the supports that you can provide, and hopefully walking away with that signed service agreement. So this is the time to use these more than this. So you want to be starting and building rapport, and you don't want to be saying, hey, I'm Helen, I'm so amazing at this, and I'm so amazing at that, I'm so amazing at the other. Those initial meetings and that initial part, it's a bit like when you go for a job interview. You want to ask them as many questions about them and their life, and you want to say as little about yourself to get started, because in that early stage of building rapport, and it might sometimes feel like, oh, geez, we've been here for a very long time and we're just chatting about this individual. That is gold in relation to potentially building rapport, building trust, and that individual signing up with services with you. I did find that often first in best dressed was very effective in relation to signing up individuals. But people now, there's individuals that really are out there interviewing, and they want to make sure that they've got the right person coming on board to support them. So if you are there, and like I used to have it quite often where we were one of however many people being interviewed to be the potential person that was providing supports, your starting point is to absolutely demonstrate that active listening and just to listen and build rapport and learn as much as you possibly can about them. So this is your opportunity, once you've got that overview, is to then add value to that individual where they're talking about their problems, and you can potentially come in and add value around your specialist skills, your focus on their type of disability, the number of clients you've supported with their type of disability, deal with their pain points. When I did my research in the disability sector, people's number one thing was they wanted somebody that understood their disability. That was the big feedback. We want somebody who understands my unique disability. Okay, so by honing in on this niche and knowing exactly all the things about their disability, you can talk them through those pain points, those challenges, and genuinely show them that you are interested in helping them succeed. So that will be absolute gold by you providing that valuable value add. You want to be demonstrating confidence. So I mean, you want to be walking in with your head held high and that body language of confidence. You want to believe in your head before you walk in that door. You're going to be walking out with a service agreement. It really is that simple. If you walk in all meek and mild and hello, I know I'm over exaggerating a little bit here, but if you've just had an argument with your partner, or your kids have driven you nuts, or you just had a rubbish phone call with somebody, we know that energy comes into the room with us. So you want to be making sure you walk in that door in a confident way and go, yep, I am ready for this. I'm ready to sign this service agreement. So you need to be showing them that you are confident, and that will instill that trust in the individual. And if you're building in as well in this conversation, your empathy and understanding, and really about kind of that, you want to be copying the individual's body language as much as possible. So if they're crossing your legs, you want to be crossing your legs. If they're kind of put their hand on their face, you want to be mimicking that a little bit as well. It's not Simon's, well, is it Simon's or not? It's not like, the complete exact that the individual's doing, but by mimicking their body language, you will absolutely nail it in relation to the situation as well. And there's often a couple of different types of individuals as well. There are the quiet, more reserved, more process-driven people. And there are the people like me who are a little bit louder, a bit more bubbly, not really wanting so much of the detail. You want to be reflecting the behavior of the individual you are meeting with. So if they're like me and they're bubbly, you need to be bubbly and as well. Like, even if your natural personality type is maybe a little bit more reserved and a little bit more introverted, you want to be matching that individual. And for those of you that are a bit more bubbly, a bit more out there, if you see that person is quieter, more reserved, they speak a little bit more slowly, you need to be toning yourself down, toning your body language down, and reflecting the type of behavior and the type of way in which that person's communicating. Because we know it ourselves, if we see the polar opposite of what our personality type is, that can actually feel quite threatening. So if you're quite a quiet, timid person, and you get this person walking into the room that's wanting to give you great big hugs and high fives, and you're like, no, I don't want this person in the room, and vice versa. So you need to be just looking at the body language of the individual that you are meeting, and really trying to mimic that body language. As we talked about earlier, you want to be establishing your expertise. So you want to be talking about your experience in the field. It might be through testimonials. You might be sharing some client success stories. You want to be showing yourself as the trusted advisor who can provide valuable guidance. And you want to be showing genuine interest in that individual, their background, their personalities, their goals, their strengths, their needs. You really want to be building that picture. And hopefully at that stage, because you don't want to be walking in, oh, hey, I've got this service agreement, are you ready to sign it? Hopefully at that stage, you'll be grabbing your service, so saying, hey, are you ready to start doing services? Okay, cool. How does that look? What does that look like for you? When do you want to get started? All of those types of questions. And really, you should be, if you've followed these steps so far, there's absolutely no reason why you won't be filling in that form in relation to the service agreement before you walk out the door. If they don't want to sign the service agreement at that moment in time, that's absolutely fine. There could be a number of different reasons. They like they say, they might be interviewing a few different people. They might want to speak to family or friends or whatever it might be. That's fine, but don't walk out the door going, oh, that person doesn't want me to support them. You need to make sure, you need to say, okay, that's cool. So you've got another couple of people coming to meet you today. That's absolutely fine. When would you like me to follow up with you? You ask them when they want you to follow up with them. And they might say, oh, tomorrow. They might say a couple of days' time. And you go, okay, no worries. How do you want me to give you a call? How do you want, does that look like for you? So because by them knowing, oh, okay, they're still interested, they're going to contact me at so-and-so time, and that's the way I want to be contacted. You are doing that follow-up support, you are showing you're interested, and that shows your commitment to the relationship with them. So I can guarantee, well, pretty much guarantee if you do that as well, you'll be absolutely nailing that as well. And if for any reason you do walk away and that individual doesn't sign up services with you, I would be encouraging you to seek feedback, to go back to them and say, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't a match for you, I wasn't a fit for you. Do you mind giving me a little bit of feedback? Because once people have kind of stepped away from that conversation, they're most of the time actually quite happy to give you some feedback. So if you're not successful, which I would be surprised you'd not be successful if you got this far, but if you're not successful, definitely get that feedback, because you will learn from that feedback, and you will do a better job next time. So I hope that's kind of talked you through the whole cycle and the whole process from engaging and through to signing up individuals. Now, I want you to have a little bit of a think here about what your price point is. I know a lot of people are a bit unsure about what price they should be charging as an independent support worker. And I want you to have a little bit of a think about really the minimum cost. So SHAD's level 2.1, which is really the minimum anybody would be paid if they were working for an organization, is that the pay rate for that is $32.21 an hour. So you working for yourself independently, you need to be adding your super on top to that. So let's say $32.21, you want to be adding 11% super because you'll be paying your super. You want to then be adding another 25% on top to cover your insurances and your overheads. So that takes you to $44.68, which I think is still actually a little bit too low. So, because you want to be managing, you are, as a sole trader, you are managing everything, you're covering your holidays, you're doing all of the things, you need to be covering not only the hours you're working, but the hours you're not working, the week, if you're unwell or if you're on holiday. So you really need to be, I would suggest adding another 10% on top of that, which actually takes you to $49.14. So I would not be engaging on an hourly rate as an independent support worker for anything lower than that price, that $49.14. So you might want to do $49.14. You might want to just round it up to $50. I would not be working for less than that amount of money, because you need that amount of money to cover your overheads, to cover your business costs, and to demonstrate your true value. If you are particularly skilled in a topic or an area of expertise, you want to be putting your price up a little bit more. So you might have seen it around and about. Like if you look about, you'll see that sometimes you think, oh, that price is too good to be true. What's the catch? So if you price yourself too low, then people might actually not value you, not think you're particularly good at what you're doing. So you really do want to be thinking about that, and you want to be showing your value. So you want to be demonstrating that your time is scarce. So plus extra to account for tax, or is that in the? Are you meaning Are you meaning the GST side of things, Jody? If so, NDIS is GST exempt. Is that what you're meaning, GST? So let me know if you're meaning the GST within that. While we're on the subject of GST, I would recommend you register yourself for GST, because you will not be charging GST to participants. Tax we pay. I'm not too sure what you mean by tax we pay. So you've got it's the GST side of things. I'll happily have a little bit of a chat with you a bit later, Jodie, and make sure I've got clarity on that. But yeah, we can have a little bit of a chat just afterwards, Jodie. Yeah, so you want to be talking about if you're an independent support worker and you're only working, you might be working 40 hours a week, you might decide you only want to work 20 hours a week. You need to be giving people a sense of urgency in relation to needing to engage with you. So you want to be saying, like, let's say you've got no clients at the moment. You do not want to be letting anybody know you have no clients. You want to be letting people know that your time is scarce and there's a lot of people waiting for your services. So think about it. Think about a big ice, like, the hottest day of the year. And there's a van and an ice cream van, and there's a queue going down the road. You're gonna be queuing up for that ice cream, and you're gonna be very excited about that ice cream, and you're gonna want that ice cream. You're going to think, oh, well, it's obviously a great place because there's people queued up around the corner. So you want to be showing your value and showing that sense of urgency in relation to the services that you are providing. And so you need to be saying to people, like, that your resource is scarce and you have a couple of people in the pipeline that are wanting to engage your services. To give that sense of urgency. It's a very common sales technique. And it's really, really a valuable one, because if people think that they've got FOMO, they've got that fear of missing out, people are going to want to start engaging services with you. Because if they think, oh, I don't like, if this person's really hasn't got very much space, they must be really good, I need to sign up with them as soon as possible. Yes, so you want to be doing that as well. You want to be making sure you've got sense of urgency, you're showing your value, and you're dealing with that kind of fear of missing out side of things as well in relation to engaging with potential clients. So as I said earlier, you want to be presuming that the person's going to be signing up with you. Before you even walk out the door, you're just going to presume they're going to sign up with you. You want to be asking them clearly and directly for the sale. I know that sounds a bit stupid, but you need to say, would you like to engage me with services? Would you like to get started? Whatever words resonate with you, because sometimes you might walk away and go, and actually, because you may be a bit overwhelmed, a bit nervous, and actually you haven't actually asked the person. So make sure you ask, do you want to get started with me? Yes or no? As I said, create that sense of urgency, reinforce the value, so reinforce the benefits or outcomes of working with you, and overcome any remaining objections. So the only real remaining objections I might have had by this stage, if I was this far through the process, was oh, well, I'm not too sure. Like, you can start with small numbers of hours. Well, how about we just start with, a couple of hours a week? How about we start with this? How about we start with that? So you're giving that reassurance and you're not overwhelming them. Um, and as I said earlier, you want to be making sure you do that follow up. So if it's not a yes now, when would you like me to contact you in the future? Do you want me to see how things are going in the future and see how things are going, and if you'd like to engage with me in the future? So those have been the main things. I just see a couple of comments there, but I will follow up in a minute. Those have been the main parts of that whole process from beginning to signing up clients. And I know that if you follow these steps, you will absolutely nail it. So the next steps from here is I'd really like you to sit down, think about your strengths, interests, think about the types of individuals you'd love to support. Think about your brand statement or that personal bio or that little bit of information that lets people know what your specialist subject is or what your skill set is. I'd love you to share your statements within the group, and please ask for guidance, advice, or support in relation to them. And I'd really love it if by next week you want to share a screenshot in the group of your bio. So update that information on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook. Show us your bio. Share and be proud. That would be fantastic. And do that outline of your ideal client avatar, the pain points. I will put the information in the comments just after we've done the live that gives that overview of that you can put into chat GPTs or seek them out on Facebook and other social media platforms. And if you've got something, put that lead magnet, craft something that you can give away to people that promotes your services. And again, if you have any questions or queries in relation to that, please post them in the group. I'm more than happy to give you my advice in relation to them. So I hope you got lots of value from today. I'm really excited